Happy Monday. I am Erica Savage, the founder and host of the Reframed Brain, and welcome to our transformative weekly neuroscience show. I'm so happy to have you here. We've actually shifted some things around. So this will be episode 1, but it's actually episode 28, specifically for purposes of the Reframed Brain podcast. If you are new here, I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for being a part of our YouTube community. And if you've not yet, please do subscribe, do like this video, and go ahead and press that notification bell so that when we go live, that you will get the notifications immediately. So I want to share a little bit because the Reframe Brain on its onset, when I introduced this in 2021 and debuted the podcast rather, in 2022, the focus was centering brain health and other unseen injuries. And that is still happening, no doubt about it. But I want to share a little bit around how we have ourselves reframed and what we're going to be offering, as a matter of fact, weekly, particularly because out of the masterclass that I've done, Chaos the Cultivation, which you can get more information on with regard to when I'm going to be offering that complimentary class again in the show notes. But I want to share a little bit around what we are doing here at the Reframe Brain. We're actually reframing ourselves. And so we're helping for our audience members to also rethink, rewire, and to actually rise to who you actually were cultivated to be. And so this transformative weekly show is very much so based in how neuroscience meets real life, right? And helping you to shift, helping you to reframe your mindset, helping you to overcome stress, which is also chaos, right? And help to rebuild your lives with clarity and the confidence that you already have built inside of you. And so, this first episode for the new Reframed Brain, but episode 28, again, for those who may be listening to us in the audio podcast form, it will be episode 28. This specific title of this episode is going to be Your Brain is Not Broken. It is merely trying to protect you. So, what we're going to be discussing in this episode are a couple of things. So, it won't be long. We've also reformatted our podcast episodes that go live on YouTube that actually are through audio as well to be a little bit shorter so you can get the content you need, get the tools that you need, and then also be able to implement those things. So, we're going to be breaking down survival mode and stress responses. And then I'm going to provide you with a lovely tool, right? It's called pause. And this is a way to help to disrupt, help to break up that reactivity, the way that we respond, and then to return to a place of calm. Okay. So in this first episode of the Reframe Brain, I'm going to take you inside of a truth that helped to shift me. So if you're new to me, if you're new to this space, this wellness space that I created, a little bit about me to let you know how I can tell you for a certainty that your brain is not broken, is actually brilliant, is because I am evidence of that. I am a former polytrauma patient who, after being hit twice by an 18-wheel truck, actually rewired or retooled my brain. And it was built off of the principles, off of the tenets, off of the practice that I had around reframing. And so this was a multi-year brain injury. And so I know what it feels like very intimately to wonder what is wrong with me. You don't have to have a brain injury to feel like that, right? And so it also, you feel it throughout your body. Your thoughts are racing, your body tenses up. And for many of us who already have very shallow breathing because of historical, because of ancestral harms and traumas within communities, that we're actually not providing the oxygen that's needed for to our blood vessels so that our organs can function properly, right? So I want you to know that your brain is not broken. It's really in survival mode. It's trying to protect you, because these reactions that you're feeling in your body, what I just named, they're not failures. They're actually protection. That your brain is actually wired, for survival. Your brain is actually wired for survival. It is that um, formative, primitive brain. that actually is looking for threats all around. And so when you're thinking about the protection mode, that could be past trauma that's stored in your body that maybe has not been processed. That can be from a very young age into the age that you are now. Chronic stress that could be built around student life, that could be built around familial life, that could be built around what's happening in your country, in your nation. That could be chronic stress from work, chronic stress from if you're an athlete. That stress exists everywhere in every sector, but if it's chronic, that is another reason why your brain could get stuck in survival mode, or even just the pace of everyday life, right? So very quickly, I'm going to help you. Let's reframe, and I'm going to break down how your brain responds to stress, why those patterns aren't your fault, and the exact moment when you can actually start reclaiming calm. This is why in February I initiated my first of several chaos to cultivation master classes where I showed people how to be the scientists of their lives, to see chaos as exactly what it is. It is absolutely disruptive, it brings about disorder. It also is an invitation for these very questions and many more that I ask to get to a place of cultivation, which is actually growth, which is actually evolution. And there are different pieces that fit to get from chaos to cultivation that I talk about in my masterclass. That if you go to the reframedbrain.com, or if you go to any of our Instagram presences, or where you will see us on social media, to my link tree, you can get a lot more information around that, and it'll also be in the show notes. So, I am also going to teach you this very powerful, very simple tool. Believe in the simplicities of life, which is called the pause, right? And it's going to help you come back to yourself. So, if you've ever felt like your mind is your enemy, you are in the right place, my friend, right? I want to tell you this: you are not broken. You are not broken. I'll say that once again: you are not broken, right? And so, through the protection that your brain is actually forcing upon you, you're going to learn how to rewire that um, practice of protection into a practice of peace. So, again, thank you so much for connecting to this particular episode 28 of the Reframe Brain. I am Erica Savage, your wellness lifestyle coach, and I am a former polytrauma brain injury patient who not only experienced injuries to my own brain as a result of that horrific accident, but also to my body. So I had to regain cognitive abilities. I also had to regain mobile abilities. I had um, up to 9 practitioners, doctors, and therapists of the care I was under in almost 2 years of home health care. So, what I am talking about, I'm talking about from a learned experience being lived, the neuroscience, and then having the political expertise around health, because I am a former political executive as well. So, whether this is burnout that is driving you to a place of having the experience of feeling like your brain is broken, whether you're navigating change, transitions that are happening through life, or you just want to feel more in control, right? I want to tell you that you are in the right place, and we are going to reframe together. So let's get into it in these next few minutes. Let's talk about survival mode, right? Because most of us actually live there without even realizing it. It's actually being on autopilot when we are doing things, and we're doing it in a way that we get up in the morning and it's almost as though you flip a switch and things that are supposed to happen that day happen. But we are not robots. We are not instruments. We are beautiful, fluid, living beings. So survival mode is when your brain activates when it senses a threat. And what's interesting is that that primitive brain, what it's responding to is the old picture of when people lived in the earth, of a saber-toothed tiger chasing one down. And so, if a saber-toothed tiger has presented itself, you're not trying to pet it, you're not trying to feed it, because it sees you as food. And what your body immediately does is it runs away from the threat. But here's the thing, you have to be very, very intentional about reframing, rewiring, because your brain doesn't know that the threat that you are facing, whatever that threat may be, is not a saber-toothed tiger, but it is responding as though it is a saber-toothed tiger. So it could be a text that has a tone that you weren't anticipating. It could be a memory that's invoked by a commercial, by music, by a television show, a commercial, an advertisement. It could be a loud noise. It could be even just too much stimulation. Your brain senses danger and it, boom, just like that, flips into the stress response mode, which is fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And I want to run those by you again: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Your heart can start to race. Your breathing can become even more shallow, and your body tenses up. Your thoughts can either speed up or they can begin to slow down. And you're not being dramatic. I know that we are in an era of reality TV being doused about, where there are tons and tons of informative, disinformation, misinforming content that is about the World Wide Web. I want for you to know that your body keeps meticulous scoring, that you're not being dramatic. This is the biology of your body. And your nervous system is actually doing its job to protect the brain. It is the instrument that gives instruction to everything in the body, right? But the problem is when that becomes chronic, when that becomes the response all the time, when it's not because of a credible threat, incredible meaning in the case of that saber-tooth tiger, where you do need to run and get away immediately, that your body is not receiving the message that that actual danger has not passed. So one can stay stuck in that state of high alert. And so what is experienced in that in the body is tiredness, exhaustion, fatigue, anxiousness, and becoming emotionally numb. Those are all indicators of survival mode. And here's again what I need for you to hear. So we talked about you're not broken, you're not broken, you're not broken. We're going to turn that protection into peace, right? Here's what I need for you to also know, that this is not your fault. This is not your fault. This is not your fault. Your brain is protecting you with outdated information, because saber-tooth tigers are no longer a thing. And we can update that information. So let's talk about the pause. Let's talk about that tool that I shared with you. So how do we start shifting out of survival mode? Well, let's start with the pause. This is something that I practice within my own body, and we have many more episodes to be talking about how my very lived, not trending, not as something to drop in and drop out of. This is my life's work. This is what I am. This is what I live. This is what I breathe, right? So I want to talk to you about the pause, because I have experienced the range of all of those stress responses all at one time, continuing to sometimes pour out over not just minutes, but sometimes hours, and tire out my body and my brain, and keeping it from not healing, right? So here's what I want to share with you about the pause. It is a very, very simple tool. And so even now, when I feel myself spiraling in thought, when I feel myself shutting down, or I feel myself responding, snapping, what I actually begin to understand is that, again, I'm not broken, right? I'm not broken. I'm not broken. I'm not broken, right? That this is not my fault, that my brain is actually wired to protect me. However, what I'm doing is I am causing an interruption in the response. causing an intentional interruption in the way that I am responding, right? I may not be able to do anything about the stress. It's not and it's not your position to fix anyone, okay? Right? Because you're not broken, right? You're not a mechanic. You may be a mechanic by trade, but you're not a fixer of people, right? So even if you practice in a space of making people well, we are still not fixers of people. We provide tools, right? So here's the tool around the pause. We are intentionally interrupting the automatic reaction. And so let's walk through how this works as we start to close out this episode. Let's pause and notice what's happening. Okay. And by noticing what happens, mean noticing your physical body. If your chest is tight, definitely do make sure that you get help immediately, right? If you're noticing your breathing is different, if you're noticing your hands are sweating, like notice what's happening in your body. Or if your thoughts are actually racing, and I want you to put a name to it. One of the things that my company Evolve Savvy does is that we help people decrease their overwhelm and increase their focus. And when you name a thing, you actually identify it. You take it out of the, oh, I'm being dramatic. Oh, I am, no, 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 no. In that moment, you name it. I'm overwhelmed. So we've named it, we've identified what it is. So remember, when someone calls your name, when somebody says your name, it causes you to focus in on who, what is trying to get your attention. It causes a pause. Hear that again. When somebody calls your name, this is why we name the thing. When somebody calls your name, it brings about a pause. So you acknowledge, I'm overwhelmed. Number two, literally stop what you're doing because you're not overwhelmed, meaning your name is not overwhelmed. You're experiencing overwhelm. So I am overwhelmed. I am experiencing overwhelm. Stop. That was a 5-second pause we just did. Pause for 5 seconds after you said it out loud. I'm experiencing overwhelm. Number three, I want you to breathe. And this is the Erica Savage reset breath, which is you're going to inhale deeply through your nose, slowly for 6 seconds. You're going to pause for 4 seconds because we've already done a 5-second pause. And then you're going to exhale deeply for 6 seconds through the mouth. So in through the nose for 6, pause for 4, exhale deeply and slowly through the mouth. So nose, pause, mouth for 6 seconds. 6, 4, 6. That's an Erica Savage reset breath. And then after you've done that, I usually recommend to my clients to do that at least 3 times. 6 times is wonderful. 7, fantastic. And then you're going to ask yourself, after you have done that, what's actually happening right now? If it is the angry text that we mentioned earlier, oh, wow, a text happened. This is what's causing everything in my body to respond that way. Or there's a show that I'm watching that maybe this is not a good show for me to watch. If it's causing this level of response, I'm literally experiencing in real time a response that I don't care for this response. I don't want to have this type of response. Or I'm in a chat and this chat is causing this type of response. Am I safe in this moment? So if in the case of the text, if you're in your home or somewhere safe, I am. You are. Put the phone down. In the case of if you're watching a show and perhaps you're watching it through a device because you're at an airport or you're on a plane, or excuse me, if you're in your home, I can literally change the program, or I can actually, if I'm at home, I'm in a safe environment. I'm in the airport, I'm in a safe environment. I'm on a plane, I'm in a safe environment. I'm on a train, I'm in a safe environment. I can just turn this off. I don't have to watch this. So do that assessment. And that is it, my friends. That is the reframe. That's it. It is an interruption in a pattern. And it gives your brain the space, the opportunity to reframe the situation instead of reacting from a place of fear. The pause is not designed to solve everything. What it does do is it starts everything for your reframe. So listen, I hope that this tool that I shared was helpful to you. Do comment in the sections, in the comment section below if you are listening to us. Please give us a 5-star rating. We would love to get that 5-star rating. If you feel so led, do comment so that other people can see, oh gosh, this is a wellness and mental health channel, and that we can get out in the flow of the algorithm to more people who will need us, right? So let me know with the tool that I shared, and let me know what you noticed when you applied the tool. And if you felt this deeply, if this was very helpful to you, please do share it with someone that needs a reframe. This is the type of work that we do. And if you want more tools, I want you to check out the free resource that I have available for you in the description. You are most welcome. So again, this is a transformative, a weekly neuroscience show. I am the unicorn in this space. I am Erica Savage. I am your wellness lifestyle coach, and I invite you to be a part of the Reframe Brain community by going to the reframebrain.com. And if you have any questions, do send them to us either by DM, following us on Instagram. You can also join our community on Facebook, but we will be doing this every single week. I hope that this is something that you will make a part of applying so that you can interrupt that pattern of when your brain is trying to protect you in a way that actually is draining you. All right. So thank you so much. Do share this, and I look forward to seeing you on next Monday, because this is the work that we do here at the Reframe Brain, one beautiful breath at a time. Thank you so much. And join us on Patreon as well. Be well. Bye.